Mixtape. It's out, and people are loving it, but is it overrated? Do people love it, but is it overrated? We'll discuss. Active Reload. So Mixtape, it's out right now. Grant played it. Grant beat it.
Yeah, I did.
He's a prisoner to his nostalgia. I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just joking.
Or I just play games.
I'm just joking. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's good?
Yeah, I have a lot to say about it.
Well, then go ahead.
Okay.
Say whatever you would like.
Well, there's multiple facets to this conversation. There's angles coming from like the big time reviewers that are kind of giving it an overrated score, like 10 out of 10s. Off the top, it's not a 10 out of 10 at all. But it's also a good game. It's also a game. People are wondering if it is a game.
Yeah,
it is about as close as you can get to it being a game and an interactive movie, I guess. Yeah, one of my wife's favorite games is Unpacking. Is that a game? You really just take your mouse and you move a pixelated asset into a drawer. And you just organize things. Is that a game? It's got less gameplay than this game. I don't think anybody would argue that Unpacking is not a game. But the fact that this game is getting high scores from places like IGN that have a history of overrating games, if you show them some sort of emotion or you tap into their emotions, they will rate something higher. Nintendo, I think those games are overrated. I think you just make a Nintendo game and it somehow gets rated higher. So, Mixtape.
Yeah.
It's about a 90s group of friends, Northern California, where I'm from. I went to high school in the 90s. And yeah, it does nail the 90s vibe a little bit. The characters are not dressed like 90s, but they look like hipsters that are just music nerds. I knew a lot of people that were like that, where they just are nostalgic for an era they didn't live in. And it's for gamers who are nostalgic for an era they didn't live in, because it's not really, if you're really trying to tap into me, you know, the metalhead kid wouldn't be wearing his mom's jeans and skating downhill with an 80s skateboard. And he's, you know, he'd be listening to metal and he'd be wearing baggy jeans. There'd be a lot more baggy jeans. And he wouldn't be making like a synth album, which is what he's doing. But the vibe is great. I really do like it. I played it from start to finish. When a game does that, it's good. I'm not going to give it Game of the Year, not even close, but
I do think
it's a good game.
I do think that this is also kind of akin to, in terms of like the way that it's being reviewed, it's kind of like reviewer bait, in the same way that there are plenty of like Oscar movies that are just made to get Oscar bait. A lot of what's the like Bohemian Rhapsody or the other one that just came out this year.
Letters at Iwo Jima is perfect.
That's another one. Yeah, any sort of like nonfiction movie that's told with character actors in it that are like that. Those are Oscar bait all the time. Sometimes they're very successful at being that. Sometimes they're not very successful.
The upcoming Odyssey.
Yeah. So I can see where people like are upset with this, with it being claimed as like a game of the year nominee type or a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it does kind of pull at the main things that people look for when they're looking for 10 out of 10s. Is can it tell a great story through a game, essentially? Because that's largely kind of few and far between.
So I really like the story, not because it is a good story. It's just told really well.
Yeah.
It's super bad and Wayne's World.
Mm-hmm.
It's kids that they grew up with each other, and one of them is moving away and kind of ruining the dynamic, and they're kind of bitter, but they're also planning one last in a day of fun. And they're looking for alcohol.
A coming of age story, if you will.
They're just trying to look for booze.
Yeah.
And I think that's fun.
If you went to high school, that's all you did.
Yeah. And then it has like small gameplay moments that are sprinkled in. And I must say, they're very rare. But what they do offer, the mechanics are really good. I took a clip of one part where they're in a photo booth and you just move the characters around into funny positions, but they animate really well. They fit in the frame really well. Even if you try to bang their heads together, it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It's commendable. The art in general across the board is really good.
Yeah.
It's just there are cringy moments. I think a lot of people, I think we read some reviews on Steam and a lot of people say cringiness.
Well, and some of them, I will say,
they're supposed to be cringy.
yeah, they're high schoolers.
Yeah.
Like there are some movies and games where they do that, but I think they do it too much and it gets over the top and I hate it. But if it's written well enough to a point where I'm like, okay, that's something that I would have done when I was in high school, then I'm like, okay, fine. We're all high schoolers are, sorry, high school kids. High schoolers are kind of idiots.
Yeah.
Like all children are all kind of idiots at some point or being stupid things.
Storytelling.
Yeah. And so when they tell stories like this, they have to include that or it's not genuine.
Yeah, and it is a genuine high school story. Is it genuine 90s? I don't think so. It is a mix of, it's about characters who are mixing up their culture with a bunch of previous cultures.
It's a mixtape.
Holy crap. Who would have thought? But the music is really good. There are probably 25% of the songs are from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to listen to music in the 70s and 80s that I was kind of hipster
so
too.
I'm also thinking that that's maybe kind of the meta like commentary that they're making is like, hey, we have this nostalgia for the 90s, but the 90s was made up of stuff that was not in the 90s. It was of 70s and 80s. That's what we're nostalgic about, of the stuff that's always previous.
Yeah, I guess.
You see what I mean?
I lived in the 90s.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm saying, but that's, I mean, I'm sure the people that were making this game also had an experience in the 90s.
Yeah.
And they're saying, we have this nostalgia for things that were happening in the 90s, but they weren't exactly directly connected to the 90s either.
Yeah, maybe. And I definitely, I think these characters are that way too. But it's probably also made by someone who wasn't even close to being in high school in the 90s. And this is what they think of it as. Or they just are trying to put themselves into what kids would be in the 90s. But in doing so, since they don't know anything, they just write what they know. But also, it's not as deep as this. It really isn't. It's a simple story.
Yeah.
The reason I like Mixtape and games like this are because it's simple. It's just a fun romp.
Yeah.
I don't really think of it as the next Doom game.
That'd be a weird comparison.
I'm looking at it with a different lens completely and dissecting it, and I'm anticipating it being better than
Mixtape 2, and you're the Doom guy.
And you're the Doom guy.
Oh my gosh,
I'm so cool. They're all playing VR on there. Yeah. They go into their rooms, which was another nostalgic thing, and you kind of explore each of the characters' rooms throughout the story, and I like that a lot because the rooms were pretty different. The main character is just a huge music nerd, and I don't know if you've ever met someone who's just obsessed with music.
Sure.
They act like that.
Yeah.
And another thing a lot of people are probably calling cringy are their accents. They're from Northern California, and it's not like LA. It is like a Humboldt County, maybe Shelter Cove, Mount Shasta vibe to it.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
But there's lots of trees and there's ocean. And
only Shasta I know is the
people
cold.
People talk like that. People are like, Shaw. Yeah, you want to listen to some.
They're like the quintessential surfer bros.
Yeah. But they're not even close to surfers. They just talk like that. They talk like they're older siblings. And I just really liked it. I don't think it's underrated, and I think it's really overrated. I think it's just a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Quick opinion, based off what you guys said. I don't think every game has to be an award-winning game. We can just have our fun, cozy games.
You're 100% correct. Yeah. There's nothing wrong. Like,
love them.
One of the worst things that's happened over the last, I would say, 15 years when it comes to video games and like the way we perceive them is that if you're not making a 10 out of 10 video game, then it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like, that's a terrible way to view any sort of media.
Yeah.
Like, granted, 10s out of 10s are the best games in the business. Those are the ones you want to play for sure. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that the 7 out of 10s are also very good and they're fun to play. Like, I've played more time playing 7 out of 10 games than I have 10 out of 10 games.
Yeah, definitely.
So like that's one of the like the weird societal change that we had when we started being like, if it's not at a 10 out of 10, then it's not worth my time.
I think it's because when
really annoying.
When games started getting really expensive. And
that's true. Yeah.
Another aspect is that this is shown off as an indie game, but it doesn't really have like the indie game risks because this is Annapurna. We make fun of I make fun of Annapurna games all the time. Right before when we were talking about the game coming out, I was like, has Annapurna ever produced a game that's good? Yeah, they have. Stray is
Outer
good.
Wilds.
Outer Wilds is good. They're not developers, but
they do movies too.
They do movies, and the movies are okay. Some movies are good. Some movies are terrible.
Yeah,
and a lot of video games are terrible that they make. We did our we talked about Don't Nod, which this has a similar vibe to Don't Nod games. And
I mixed them up a lot, to be honest.
I know it's true, but yeah, and so they have Larry Ellison is the main backer.
So
his daughter is the owner of Annapurna, and she's
a not the owner. She's the CEO or something. Yeah.
So they have a pretty big what do you call parachute?
Yeah. So, but with that being said,
but it doesn't take away from the developers,
right?
And this is another thing I was thinking of. I don't feel bad for the developers, but I guess this is good progress for them.
I mean,
they're always this shtick is always going to be with them. Like they make overrated games, but I don't think it's their fault that it's overrated.
They had a pretty no, I don't think so either. Again, it does kind of feel like it's just kind of award bait, but that's not, I don't think they were making that with the intention. I thought they wanted to tell a story that they, were somewhat passionate about and like could relate to a lot of people that were going to play the game, and that was appealing to them.
Yeah.
I will say Annapurna had a pretty crazy run from about 2012 in terms of movies till 2015.
Yeah.
Killing Them Softly, The Master, Zero Dark 30, American Hustle, Her, Foxcatcher in a 3-year or in a 2-year span. That's pretty crazy.
Foxcatcher is really good.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good span there.
We talked about it. I'm not a fan of Zero Dark 30.
Yeah, I know.
I like Her though.
I will say
I like that a lot.
There are people that are, if you go to like some of the Steam reviews, there are people that like it, but they are saying that they view it as more of an interactive novel than it is a game.
Yeah.
But I'm also like
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, I mean
there's that on this show.
There's plenty of you could make the argument that like not a decent amount, but some of the Telltale games are just that as well. Like you're basically interacting with cutscenes in a video game.
I will say that the Telltale games have a lot more gameplay than Mixtape.
But there's other examples of that, like Doki Doki Literature is a perfect example too. And it's just a really, I mean, the twist sells that game more than anything, obviously. And in fact, it just kind of turns itself into itself. But yeah, I don't know. I think
spoilers, James.
Hey guys, there's a twist in Doki Doki Literature Club. I don't know. I think it's interesting because it does bring up the conversation of what makes a game, I guess, because Steam, if you look at Steam,
they have a lot of visual novels.
They got a lot of just books on there. So does that count as video games?
There's also
selling on Steam.
Games.
I don't know.
Are those adult games? Yeah, they are.
If there are games that I can play with one hand, it's a game, especially adult games.
They come away entertained.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
Are you not entertained?
I don't like that. Because that's pandering to somebody else. I don't really like to ask if it's a game. Of course, it's a game.
Yeah,
it's just it's a very limited gameplay.
Yeah, but
and you're playing it on your Xbox with a controller, even though you're not moving.
Yeah, but again, it's also like another example would be
there's more gameplay than Doki Doki.
Like we've got an ungodly amount of
PC
video game simulators too right now, where you're working at a checkout counter.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
are those video games or am I just working a light? So it's just
I hate that conversation.
Lawnmower Simulator.
Yeah, or I've fallen asleep playing Power Wash Simulator.
Dude, I grew up on like games like Night Trap.
Yeah,
FMVs.
Night Trap. Oh, I know what you're talking about. That game's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, you're just kind of clicking the game.
That game's literally just a video, and click the button.
One of the greatest games or arcade games of all time is that animated Don Bluth. The Don Bluth animated
My Little Toaster.
Whatever that game is called, where you just click you click a button at the right time and it moves the animated movie forward.
Spider-Man 2.
I can't remember what it's called.
Don Bluth. I didn't know he made a video game.
Yeah, just look that up.
Another one though too. You can make FMV games.
Yeah,
I mean that's just there's not even like artist renderings. It's just cameras.
There's choices.
Yeah,
there's not a lot. I think what a lot of people expect in a video game is a way to lose, right? So there's not really any way to lose in this game.
Yeah.
Another clip I took of, which I'll probably run, is near the end, the main character is running to go save somebody, and you don't need to hold the controller at all. You can jump or slide through a bunch of funny stuff like picnics and people's backyards and stuff. It's really well animated, but you can just sit back and let it play. And it won't matter at all.
So another argument to that is like, in another game that they released would be like Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
Is
Definitely.
your losing is inevitable.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played the game, you're literally on a clock.
What do you get, 15 minutes
It's like,
or something?
yeah, 12 to 15 minutes or something like that. No matter what, you will lose.
Mhm.
So in that sense, if the only option is losing, like there's no expanding past that, there's an ending, but you know, the entire point is to lose over and over again, essentially.
But that game is difficult.
And it is I mean, in that sense, it's kind of a roguelite because you are kind of learning more stuff. But that's also like
True rogue.
Yeah. So, and that makes it, does that make it more of a game?
I
Or
don't
is
know.
it, you know, it's just a
different flavor.
It's a flavor. Yeah, I don't know. The is it a game is always a weird question because we have the great thing about video games is that there is such a expansive difference between so many different genres that nothing else can really match apart from literally art. Like,
I will say if this was an animated movie on Netflix or something like that, if it was on Netflix, it'd be terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say
something else. People would love it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really does do a 90s shtick really well. I mean, I lived it. I have friends that I used to have a friend that talks and acts exactly like the main
I was
character.
gonna say you had a connection to this.
So
character.
I do have a bit of a connection, and she talks exactly the same. And she was cringy, and she was really, really into music, and she definitely had friends that connected to her because she was a bad person. She was a bad kid. She was a skateboarder, and the skateboarders around my town, Northern California, if you were skating, you were in a bad crowd. That's how it was. It didn't really work. It shouldn't have been that way, but that's how it was perceived. And a lot of bad kids used to skateboard. So one of the character, the dark-haired girl, she wants to rebel against her dad, who's a cop. And so she like latches herself up with the bad girl and her friend, who they have like some sort of hidden love connection, which I think is really great because they hint on it just a tiny, tiny bit. And there's little subtle things in there that are really good, regardless of the 90s and nostalgia. It's just that stupid, simple story I think is endearing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great appeal for a lot of. I mean, and again, it's one of those. It's a story that, like, literally everybody has some sort of connection to. We've all been to high school.
Yeah.
We've all had that.
We'll have friends go away.
Yeah,
and it
move
sucks.
away or whatever, you know, or you've like your senior year and we're all going different places, you know, like that's all something that everybody has experienced. So they have that sort of connection to it, which is why these sorts of games and movies will be made forever. Like we'll see these over and over and over again.
And it's also, I mean, it is a mixtape. It's mostly the music is front and center.
Yeah.
They pause the game to talk about the song.
Guardians of the Galaxy did the same thing, and everybody loved that.
But there's people in the background.
movie.
They clap with the beat and stuff like that. It's awkward and it's goofy. It's very John Hughes 80s high school movie, like Breakfast Club or
Ferris
something.
Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller. So, yeah. If you just go in with it like that and not go in with it as a 10 out of 10 masterpiece game, then you're going, I think you'll be happy.
You want to know something crazy?
I don't know if you'll like it. That's the funny thing. James, this is not a game James will like.
Well, it depends on how long it is. I mean, if it's
3 hours long.
Okay. I mean, I was gonna say if it's 7 hours.
No, it's 3.
It's way too long. You want to know something crazy? People probably about my age and younger, they'll see the name of this game and not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's funny.
Have you thought about that?
Yeah.
You're like, what's that? What's a mixtape? Because I never had one.
They even have tapes, but they're from the 80s. But
what's a
she's
cassette
also
tape?
She talks about a disc, compact
They
disc.
probably
The very
have-
intro,
yeah.
the first word, she's explaining the difference between.
So the mixtape itself, is it on like an actual tape or is it a CD?
No, the mixtape is something she's going to go to New York with to get this job from this person. She's going to show it to somebody.
Classic, like high school.
It's going to be on an out like a CD.
Yeah. Classic. That's a classic one too.
Yeah.
So yeah, play mixtape. Hey, go play mixtape. Why not? Huh?
Yeah,
Or watch it. I don't care.
And get upset about it too.
Or get upset about or love it. You know what? Who cares? No one will be upset about that.
It's
Well,
a
people will be
good
upset.
game. Just a regular
You like
old
what
good
you
game.
like.
You like what you like. One of my favorite movies of all time, La La Land. People think that I'm crazy for that.
Yeah, no, that's not that crazy because that's actually really good.
Thank you.
Another thing is
Jaws.
Jaws. I mean, that's one of the greatest movies
Not
of all
far
time.
from me.
My favorite movie of all time is The 13th Warrior.
Yeah. And I clown on him every day for
And
that.
Bloodsport.
But I clown on him for every day for that too. And that's okay. Because you love what you love.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yep.
Bloodsport?
The very same. The director who lives near where we live.
Oh.
If you can believe that. I'll dox him right now. He lives it. No, we can.
I know, that's when I moved here. I was like, there's a connection.
Like, I have to live
here with my favorite movie.
I have to live here. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Decent
Mixtape. Go check it out.
Not bad.
Did you ever work on doing splits like Jean-Claude?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was younger, yeah.
I bet you did.
You son of a